So today I wanted to talk about the importance of contrast. I feel it's easy to miss out on life's experiences that make us grow. And basically, the importance of the contrast, both in our spiritual exercises, everyday life, and so on, and how important it is for growth. I want to give a bit of a background. So I just have been meditating for a couple of months now again, continuously, and I went on a meditation retreat 3 weeks ago, which you don't need. You don't need to go there. I've been practicing for years, and this is my very first meditation retreat because I had hit some sort of wall and I wanted to learn more about overcoming those obstacles. So I come back from this retreat, I felt great. And just a few days after that, while I was practicing, I get a phone call for work, which is unusual this time of the year. Work is very slow. And I usually, for 2 days, I don't bother driving a couple of hours to live in another city and work. But this time around, I had an inclination that I should go. I've been living sort of a relaxed life for a few months, and I wanted to get back into the big city and experience some of that life. So I decided to go, and the drive there, which is about 5 hours away, was amazing. There was sunset, there was a rainstorm, and the whole time it was a very relaxed drive. It was 4 hours, but it felt like 30 minutes. And there was a lightning storm, which was quite amazing. It reminded me I should take more road trips. So I go there in the first day. It's very, very busy, but I'm on my own working in production in downtown Vancouver, which is good. I felt good. I felt blessed. And second day was good as well. Second day I had a coworker whom I had met only once on a different project, and we talked most of the day, and it was amazing. We have shared so many interests. And something happened the second day that really bothered me, and in hindsight it was a good thing. So around lunchtime, I work on this big project, and I go to grab lunch. We deciding who goes grab lunch, and my coworker says, "Let's do rock, paper, scissors." And I said, "I will walk down there. I could use a walk." And I walk in there to go grab lunch for both of us, which is about 2 blocks away. And I asked someone from where the heart of a project is, like, "Where's lunch?" And the guy says, "Oh, it's like you just like one alley where you came from, and then turn left, and they're serving lunch." And as soon as he was saying it, there was a young lady that was working the project. It was maybe 19, 20, blonde, and she perked up and sort of started looking at me like she had seen a prey. So I started walking half a block there to where lunch is, and sure enough, as soon as I ordered my lunch from the lunch truck, this lady sort of starts talking to me. "Hi, do you work on a project?" "Yes, I do." "What company do you work for?" "I work with such and such project company," which is the most prominent company on the whole project. There are different companies, and mine is, so to speak, the biggest name. And then I can see her talking on the radio, blah blah, and someone's giving her advice like, "Oh, what do you do? Do you do X, Y, Z?" And I said, "I usually do this, but I am doing this today." And then she goes back and comes back like 3 times, like, "Oh, where exactly are you working?" I'm like, "Okay." So and I said, "Oh, you really need a name tag?" And I said, "No, I don't. I'm here only for 2 days. I don't need a name tag." And she was a bit cranky about it. So I finally said, "Look, I got my ID. I would be happy to give you my ID." And before that, there was another lady that knew that I was working there. She comes over and says, "Hey, you don't believe me? Ask this lady. She saw me work there." She came and talked to me. And the lady right there and then, for whatever reason, said, "No, this man needs an ID." And I'm like, you just can't win with these people. So I show her my ID and grab lunch, and I go back to where I was working with my coworker. And my coworker, I tell him what happened. He was just laughing, said, "That's a joke." And we finished the day, and I could not get that out of my mind, the way she interacted with me and the way I responded. And I'm usually very good at letting these things go. This is life, these things happen, but this really stuck with me. So I finished the day, I meet another friend, we have a great time and catch up, and then the next day in the morning I decided to drive back, and I drive back through the same mountainous areas, and this thing was still on my mind, the way she talked to me, the whole problem. And I do not like to be singled out in any ways. And I felt that I was being too nice to her. I respected boundaries. She was a nobody as far as the ranking goes, so I should have simply said, hey, I don't have to give you that information. She was certainly not a security guard. But that really stuck with me, and I felt that I should have dealt with it a different way. So I decided to think it over. These things are very important. If you practice meditation, these things are very, very important because you do not want to have any negativity in your background. If you have that negativity in background noise, it's almost impossible to meditate because that negativity will come to the surface again and again. So no matter how mundane these things are, it's very, very important to deal with them either right away, the positive way, on your own, really. And if not right away, whenever you have time, downtime, you can do it. If you get up in the morning, have coffee, it's my favorite time to deal with these things. So it's not just a simple stuff. If negativity stays with you, you have to deal with it. Otherwise, it stays with you, it won't go away, and that sort of thing. So during the drive, I made it my assignment to work this out with this negativity. And I was looking at a different angle. She's new, she doesn't know what she's doing. This is just the nature of work. You work with people you don't know. I haven't been on that production, all these things. But it wouldn't go away. And it wasn't until I was about 45 minutes away from my hometown. I had driven 3.5 hours. And before I got to my hometown, there was a small town. I stopped to look at a camping store on the way and have a quick break. And before I pulled in the parking lot, the answer came to me. And the answer was, hold your space. You have to own your own space. Over the last few years, I've cleared a lot of trauma from my childhood and growing up. And it is hard for me to really own my own space. There's a difference between confidence and self-worth. And my self-worth has been lacking over many years. So this issue really triggered that, and it was a wake-up call that now that traumas are gone, you have to hold your own space. You have to own your own space. So I thought to myself, you know what? I deserve to be there at that place. I was called to be there at that place. I should have stood my ground. And it kind of makes sense. So there was really something about that negativity that was sticking with me. And that was the meaning of it and the purpose of it. And once I understood that meaning of it, the negativity just went away. It just cleared. So it was a beautiful experience, and really it was a gift. So that interaction, as negative as it was, had a meaning and had a purpose. And it was really a gift. So why do I bring this up? Because I wanted to talk about the contrast. I was living in a serene life for a few months. I've done different things, but I really enjoy my meditation practice. And going away, I feel sometimes disturbs it. But sometimes we need to grow. Sometimes we need to get out of our comfort zone, no matter how good it is, and lose our balance to regain our balance. And that process we grow. And the whole experience reminded me of a saying, I think it was Chogyam Trungpa in one of his books, talking about Nirvana, Enlightenment, Nirvana particularly, and Samsara. Samsara is the world of disorder, the world of hatred, greed, suffering, all those things. And Nirvana is the state of bliss, knowing who we are, becoming who we truly are. And something in his book really struck me. He said, we need that contrast. Without Samsara, there would be no Nirvana. Without Nirvana, there would be no Samsara. Samsara and Nirvana, I'm paraphrasing, are the two sides of the same coin. They're really essentially the same thing. And so we need that contrast. It was important for me to get out of my comfort zone. As much as I disliked giving up my home and my practice to go there, drive hours away and work and get out of my balance. So it's really important to be mindful of that contrast. And the other thing that Chogyam was mentioning is like we need that contrast to see clearly, to exist. And he said, look, if someone took a picture of the space, it would be invisible because there's nothing in space. That's why they include something in that, like a planet, a rock, or something in that empty space. So it gives that contrast, so we can see space while seeing matter. Because without matter, we can't really experience the space without space matter. So these are the same thing. So in life also, we have so many different experiences. And it's very, very easy to get attached to one thing or another. I always say too much of a good thing is not necessarily good. It's one of my rules from my own life. So sometimes we need to have that contrast. And even with having good days or bad days, if we only had good days, we wouldn't know what a good day is like, right? But once we have the bad days, we appreciate and really understand what the good days are all about. If you're working hard all week, you really, really, really are looking probably toward the weekend and relaxing and having a drink or spending time with your friends and family, right? But if you have the whole week off, the weekend is pretty much like any other day. So we need this contrast in our life, and they're very, very important. And I think the misconception is about spirituality and spiritual life, as Chogyam Trungpa clearly explains in his book, Cutting Through Spiritual Materialism. There's a chapter in it called The Hard Way. I would really recommend the book. And the hard way is that, spiritual life, like any path in life, is very good. Quite often we have this view of this spiritual life or meditation or enlightenment as this beautiful, blissful thing. You meet a teacher, you go to classes, you do meditation, all of a sudden you're enlightened and you walk around like a halo over your head. It could not be further from the truth. When you do meditation or any other spiritual practice, as he says, negativity and trauma and hurt come up to the surface like dead fish, which is his phrase. It's a beautiful phrase. So we have to be mindful about those things. And growth can happen any time. So when this happened, I realized that for the last year and a half, for 2 years really, I've been working on different things because I had hit a sort of a wall in my practice and life in general. And because a lot of work that was done, I feel that that blockage has been cleared and now I can move past that. And as such, it was important for me to move back to Vancouver. I had an apartment there. I gave it up during the pandemic and focus on different things. But I think now is a good time to go back. When I met my friend after work, we went to the same apartment, outside the same apartment. We both live in the same apartment. And some couple of things happened that made me believe that it's time for me to go back. I need that contrast again because at work I learn a lot. Yes, I make a good living, but also every day is a learning experience there. This contrast is not in all aspects of our life, right? Why is it that when you're dating somebody and you're with your partner and sometimes there's a fight, maybe you stay up all night, you argue or something like that, and you just hate each other, and just maybe you take a break for a week. But when you get together, it's just amazing. It really is amazing when you get back together. Everything about getting back together feels fresh and new. It's like you're seeing your partner for the first time. So that's a good example of contrast. Sometimes we lose something and then we appreciate it more and we go back to it. And that happened to me. It took me exactly a week of hard work and meditation to go to the same level I was before I left, altogether 4 days. But it was worth it. I learned a lot. And it's just important. So it is important to have that contrast in our life. I know the first time I started seriously meditating for many months continuously, it was like many years ago. And I gave up on it because the good feelings that I had kind of vanished. And I didn't know why it was, which It's just negativity coming to the surface. Negativity, hurt, deep-seated feelings that we don't even know they exist. They sort of slowly come up to the surface, and that's where you experience resistance quite often. Everybody's different, obviously. But that contrast was good, and I did not appreciate that. So I let it go. But now I realize how important contrast is in our life, how different aspects of it work. Even a while ago, I was visiting a friend. I think went for a walk, and then I think she invited me to her place. We had a couple of drinks and we ate and went for a walk. And I sort of was late for my meditation practice, and I was a little bit feeling guilty about it. But when I sat down for meditation, even though I still had a little bit to drink and my belly was still a little bit full, it felt amazing. I had an amazing session. And so that shows that we need different contrasts in our life. It's not about sitting down and meditation, and not meditation, but also the deeper you go into your practice, the more you realize how much we need the different contrasts in our lives. How important social life is, how important dating life is, how important friendship is, how important relationship to family and friends are, how important, especially the physical, physical workouts are important. Working out, gym, how important it is, how important sleep is, how important your diet and nutrition are, how important your meal times are. Those are all completely different things from your meditation practice. They're in complete contrast. Going to the bar and getting drunk, that's the complete opposite of sitting down and meditating for however long. Those are actually the same thing. They're really different aspects of the same thing. They're like different aspects of meditation that we need. Dating life, going out, spending time with friends. I went to the beach with a friend, and all those things are very, very important. And it's very easy, especially at the beginning, to be narrow-minded and say, you know what, I'm just going to lock myself in my room and meditate. That's all I want, because that's what people do. And that's the wrong mentality. You will succeed short term, but long term, it's probably not the right way. It's like trying to live on bread alone. Yeah, short term you do, but after a week you'll just be pretty sick, because we need all these nutrients from different foods. So yeah, we need those different contrasts, and that's how we grow. And it's important to have all different opposing things in life. I sometimes just like to have a good smoke. A friend brought me some Cuban cigars 2 nights ago, and then we smoked. Completely different things, but it has a really healing effect with me, even occasionally having a drink. All those things are beautiful aspects of life that we must appreciate. Anyway, so I just wanted to talk about the importance of contrast, how important it is, how essential and valuable it is in our meditation practice, but really in life. And it is important. It was important for me personally, and for all of us really, to expand our horizons and see life as holistic as it is. And many times, as I just mentioned, some negative experiences will come up, but there you really, those negative experiences are really part of the positive experiences, because they make us grow. I think there's a Zen master called Harude Roshi in Japan, and he was the teacher of my teacher. He is the teacher of my teacher. And one of the things that he learned is that he has a motto saying all we have to do to advance in life is to be able to receive. Basically, he said that everything that is given to him, all the life experiences, he receives it fully and completely. And that's really all we have to do to reach enlightenment, to progress in life. Anyways, this talk is a little bit abstract, but I just wanted to share my experience with you, and I hope that that will be of some use to you in your practice. Thank you. Have a great day, and talk to you soon.